I figured, Jason's a person's name, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So, it was named after an actor who actually our listeners might have heard of. So he was an actor originally called Jason Statham.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently in lots of action films.
Doesn't ring a bell, but...
No, yeah, I haven't seen any of his films.
Action films doesn't ring a bell.
Okay.
Hello. This is the 251st Test from the Future, an experimental podcast from the year 2226, which we are sending from our present to yours. My name is Dirk.
And my name is Simon.
And we're putting the past in podcast. So, what shall we be talking about today, Simon?
Today we are going to talk about the lost city of Dohn-Ut.
Yes, It's a discovery.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
And,
a recent one even.
Yes. We still call it the lost city of Dohn-Ut.
It's been found now, but for a very long time. It wasn't actually known for sure if it was real, but people speculated that there would be a lost city of Dohn-Ut.
It's also a bit presumptuous if you're saying the lost city, if you don't know if it's actually ever been there. And now it's the found city of Dohn-Ut, I guess.
Could just be called, usually you don't refer to a city by the city of, you just say the name of the city,
Yeah.
So from this point onwards, I guess we could just say Dohn-Ut, like I'm going to Dohn-Ut for the day or something like that.
That's true, yeah. But of course then, or the lost Dohn-Ut. No, I think the lost city. In the presses they've all been calling it the lost city of Dohn-Ut,
that way,
even though that it was found.
I guess to differentiate it from any other possible cities with the same name.
True, actually, any other cities that may have been found. Maybe we
should talk about it, because maybe our listeners haven't heard of it.
Oh, yeah, a good point. We're already getting into semantics, We'll just make a separate lost and found episode, and then we'll get to the details of that.
Yeah.
So what is it? The lost city of Dohn-Ut.
So it's a city, and it's around 4,000 years old.
Yes, very old.
Yep. Maybe it's even older.
Yeah, true.
But it was lost 4,000 years ago. Or at least, there were... Yeah. That's how people knew about it. There were some mentions of it, but the most recent mention of it was from 4,000 years ago.
Yeah, old inscriptions and old rumors and old stories and yes.
Yep.
And whereabouts was it?
Mesopotamia.
Yeah,
is where it was rumored, where it was most. Most people reckoned it probably was there.
Yeah.
Again, based on inscriptions and other people mentioning it, but. The surprise for our listeners, maybe our listeners... So the big surprise was actually not in Mesopotamia, rather in Yorkshire, in England.
Yeah, in rural England somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's Mesopotamia is kind of like the place where I always have the feeling most of the lost cities are there somewhere. They're not really good at keeping their cities. They keep on losing them. And whenever there was a lost city in history, at one point it was found there. It's here.
Maybe that's where they congregated. So they were somewhere else originally, got lost, found their way to Mesopotamia.
And that's where they surfaced again. Yeah, that could be a thing. Yeah, or they just maybe the first cities ever were built there. They just weren't really good at building them.
Oh, maybe they were good at building them at the time, but enough time passes. 4,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago, they built them pretty well. But enough years, decades, centuries go by. Landscapes change, rivers change direction, stuff like that.
Things become dry or overgrown or people get tired of it. And people haven't had enough time to get tired of London or Frankfurt. But
not just yet. And some places would have got lost because, nowadays the entire Earth is covered in cams, so you can know. I think, or even 200 years ago in our listeners' time, most of the Earth's surface was you could look at it basically. But longer ago, something could get lost simply because people don't go that way anymore. And it's really out of the way. Exactly, say a river changes course, and the way people got there was by going on a boat on the river. Well, then the city's lost.
Then never mind.
Yeah, the city's still there, but if no one's going to it anymore.
Yeah, it will become lost at some point. Yeah, so most of the lost cities in the past were always in Mesopotamia. So whenever, there's a rumored lost city of something, let's go check there first,
Yeah, it makes sense as a starting point.
But I think it was also confirmed a little bit where...
100 years ago.
Yes, exactly. It was the lost city of Dohn-Ut was always rumored to be the twin city of the lost city of Dohn-Ut.
Right, which was found in eastern Turkey,
Yeah.
so in the mountains. And that's when that was found 100 years ago. They found like even more documentation, like more inscriptions and so on, basically confirming that.
That confirmed that also Dohn-Ut was a thing.
Yeah, not necessarily where it was, but that it was the twin city.
But also when they found Dohn-Ut in Turkey, this also kind of confirmed this is kind of in the Mesopotamian region, you know, so you could still say, see.
Yeah, and they didn't suspect that it would be a twin city so far away.
Yeah,
I mean,
could have
look at the
imagined.
globe, it's not that far away, but still relatively far away.
And also, I mean, we'll get to some of the details of Dohn-Ut in a little bit, but why they were twin cities is still kind of unclear.
Right.
I mean, except for the name, you know, it starts with the same. But other than that, they don't really seem to be sharing that much. But they knew about each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we could have. It would have been nice to say the excavations of Dohn-Ut in Turkey. They gave us the final clue where we could locate Dohn-Ut. But it wasn't.
No, it would be nice. It would have been nice to say that, but it didn't work out that way.
But maybe we can talk about how it was discovered in a little bit. But maybe Dohn-Ut was not just any old lost city. They had one particular thing about them.
Like that they were famous for. You.
Have you read what this was?
Yeah. So they had holes through the center of most things.
Yeah.
So buildings, so both large and so small houses, but also huge concert halls or whatever, just holes through the middle of everything.
Yeah. And also the big structures, but also the small things.
Yeah.
Like the bridge with a hole in the middle.
Right.
And the pillars holding the bridge up, they also had holes in the middle and so on. The tiles that were forming the road, they all had holes in the middle. Very particular, let's say, taste.
Yeah, like, and for example, you can imagine, you said tiles, but I think you mean like cobblestones, in the street. And you can imagine trying to, for example, use a pogo stick, to bounce around would have been really tricky, because if it went in the middle of one of those cobblestones, you get stuck.
Actually. Yeah, maybe that's also why they didn't really found any evidence of them having used pogo sticks.
Right.
Unlike Dohn-Ut, where that was a very popular way of transport.
Yeah.
But that's I think that's the main thing that they were famous for.
Right, holes through the middle of things.
And that was already in the stories that people were telling about Dohn-Ut. But it didn't help us spot the city until we finally found it.
But I mean, in that, right, it didn't, because no cities until very recently had been found which had holes through the middle of things. But it did mean that once one was found, I mean, in this case, the ruins of one, was pretty easy to quickly identify. Oh, this is probably the lost city of Dohn-Ut.
This must be that one thing. But it's I think maybe then we talk a little bit about how it was found, because it being in Yorkshire, it's not the most deserted area in the world, right? So from what I remember, the ruins were always there.
The ruins, yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, it was.
Well, they weren't recently buried under the ground or something.
Yeah, exactly. They've always been there. The ruins. They were in the moor, as far as understood.
Yeah, in the Yorkshire moors. Yeah.
Yeah, and people just didn't really think it anything special. Kids played in it.
Right. There'd be these little, you'd have like some, what we now know was, like, for example, the peak of a tower, or the ruins of the peak of a tower just peeking up through the marsh, and exactly kids would play in it or whatever. But no one suspected that there was more deeper down. And
there was this half pipe that they used for old-fashioned skateboarding for the longest time. And this was basically a statue that was apparently in the middle of Dohn-Ut. And just the top half was broken off, but the bottom half was still there, and they used it for skateboarding back in the day.
Yeah.
And apparently the locals used some of the rubble from the ruins to build
whatever,
walls,
like that's a thing all over the world, that old ruins or old buildings are not just left alone, but repurposed, like the building materials are used to build other things, or have been.
I'm just imagining where all this time they've been looking for Dohn-Ut in the Mesopotamia region. I can just imagine somebody sitting on the ruins of the actual city in Yorkshire, reading the newspaper article about the next failed attempt to locate the city, shaking their heads. Man, these Mesopotamian people don't know what they're doing, and so on. And then all the time sitting on the ruins.
Yeah. I mean, and while we're imagining things, I just imagine someone doing that and thinking, say it was a kid, thinking, when I grow up, I'm going to be the one to find it, to find the lost city of Dohn-Ut. But really imagining like having to scour the world, like travel to far off lands and so on.
Drill in the ice, dive in the ocean.
Exactly, while sitting on like the half pipe. That was what's left.
I can imagine. Maybe they had like a map with the world laid out among the rubble of the city, saying maybe in this rainforest, maybe at this bottom.
Exactly. And they like taught themselves like many different languages and different survival skills, and tracking skills that they imagined they might need, in all parts of the world. I mean, that's really good. That would be fun to learn anyway. Yeah. And okay, now I'm just thinking, okay, hopefully they got to tour the world before finding out where it actually is.
And they were using little rocks that they plucked from the walls around them to steady the map, and it was windy.
Yeah.
And also maybe studying some of the inscriptions from the walls of Dohn-Ut, not realizing, hey, these inscriptions on the wall I'm leaning against while reading this are the same.
Or at least referring to each other.
Yeah, referring to each other, yeah. Anyway, but that's how it wasn't found before anyway.
Indeed.
But so how was it found in the end?
That's the next step, yeah, exactly. Like just so recently.
At one point, people realized.
Yeah.
You want to reveal that because it's pretty cool, I think.
It's super cool. So just last year, they broke ground. They were about to build so for a few years now, they've been planning to build a massive Jason collider. And last year they broke ground. They started to dig to build the foundations. That's when they found more.
Yes. And then
kept digging, oh wow, we found something of archaeological importance here. Okay, bring in the archaeologists, they're going to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
That's when they worked it out.
Yeah, it's they were saying, let's just, remove all this rubble, all this rubbish, tear down these old buildings and build our massive Jason collider right here in the Yorkshire moors. And then people said, well, hold on, just let us take a closer look. And then they realized this is the lost city of Dohn-Ut. Yeah, that's a pretty cool discovery.
Definitely.
And also because they now they're still working on it, still excavating, freeing things, putting some things back together and so on that just lay next to each other. And they also find out more. Did you read that they found out why the city got lost?
I mean, so at least some theories have been put forward, yeah?
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Found out is a little bit...
4,000 years is a long time, so... But yeah, most likely thing right now, again, based on what they found, a big flood.
Yes.
And why would a flood affect it? So this is the really thing where it gets... So, okay, you can imagine a flood comes in, covers all the city. Yeah, okay, city gets lost. But apparently, the reason that these buildings all had holes through the middle of them was that they used to have cork. Yeah. Like big, huge pieces of cork plugged into them. And then from looking at the foundations of these buildings... they would float. Yeah. Like the building was like, I guess, fit into like a socket, its foundation. But with this chunk of cork, it would lift the whole building up. Like if the place flooded, would lift the whole building up.
Not just the building, but also like the bridges and the cobblestones and so on. Everything had cork. So basically when there was water, and apparently in a moory area there's regularly floods, it's very useful that the city just floats for a bit until it pops back down.
So, but then how did it get lost is, at least, okay, this is where the theory comes in. So no traces of the cork so some very small traces of cork have been found, but no large pieces. Yeah. Okay, and of course, over 4,000 years, cork's not going to last. But still, the speculation is, for whatever reason, this is where they're still trying to find out, the cork was no longer there. Yeah. Maybe there was a long period of no flooding, people figured, hey, we don't need this anymore, let's use the cork for other purposes.
Yeah, make little stick figures.
Put it in wine bottles, good stuff like that. Okay, and then there would have been another big flood, and then the whole city could no longer float.
Yeah, and then you would just see a body of water with some floating stick figures and wine bottles. Yeah. Yeah, so that's, I think that's a pretty solid theory. Wise lesson, I think, also for humanity. Don't forget the cork.
Right, no. Yeah, don't neglect it. No, don't neglect it.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, so that's the. I think it's with all big societies. They blossom. They invent. They
They're very
grow,
successful for a time.
Exactly. And then at one point they just start to kind of crumble and fall down and forget why they're great, and then forget their cork and then get flooded.
Right. Maybe through hubris, or like, the people who remember that stuff don't either don't pass on the knowledge for whatever reason. Like maybe they intend to, but it gets lost, or they don't intend to, or whatever.
To be honest, I can imagine if I would be in a building that has holes and everything, and in the holes are cork, I would be tempted to just punch the cork from the inside, see it pop out.
For fun.
Yeah, just pop. Pop
like out the roof.
Yeah, out of the roof, out of the walls, out of everything. When you walk through the city, pop, pop, pop. I think that could be fun.
Sure. And in the summer, maybe you want a bit of breeze. So, pop out those bits of cork, and then sure, you want to put them back in the winter, but maybe by the winter time you've lost some.
Yeah. Or maybe that's it also. Maybe they were just not in there when it was sunny, and when the weather turned bad, they would just put all the cork back in, and maybe the weather turned bad really fast. Yeah.
It's possible. Again, this is speculation.
Yeah, exactly. It's possible, but then if that's the case, then we wouldn't have a wise lesson.
Right.
I think
what's missing right now, the archaeologists, they're looking through the ruins. Basically, they're trying to find documentation of anything.
Yeah.
And of course, they're finding some, but so far nothing that explains what happened to the city.
And also, it's not written on the wall. This is why the city got lost. On the walls or other things.
Of course.
So, what does it look like now? I mean, we described quite a few things already. We also pointed out the texts on the walls.
Right. Presumably they wrote stuff on other things too.
Yeah.
People nowadays, you can write on many different surfaces, but occasionally you put like a signpost up, or in a restaurant they'll have the menu up on the wall or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so the inscriptions that survive to now are the things which were carved into the walls.
Yeah, and they're currently being deciphered. It makes it a little hard, of course, that there's holes in everything. So there's little bits of this inscriptions missing because that's where the hole is.
Right. Which, if there was cork, maybe it was it continued on the cork.
They're thinking so. Yeah. So, and of course, it's a very ancient language, and it's apparently the same kind of dialect as Dohn-Ut, but not exactly the same. So they recognize the characters, but they still haven't figured out most of it.
Yeah.
I read one theory that there are recipes.
So recipes for meals, or dishes, or So, but then in restaurants,
no, apparently for people to remember.
Okay.
It's like there's one character that they're pretty sure means sugar, and this is in all the recipes.
Okay.
And apparently, as every recipe has 4 ingredients, so
a maximum.
Yeah, maximum and minimum.
Oh, minimum. Okay, always 4.
Always 4. Yeah, at least that's
what's could always be like a shortcut thing. Yeah, like if you were a cook back 4,000 years ago, you would have known. Okay, it's saying like these 4 things, and I know, for example, the first one is made up of these 3. Like it's like a chord, basically. Always these 3 things.
Or it's just the base of anything. Just add onions and gravy and ketchup.
Sure.
Yeah, that sounds very tasty. Sugar, gravy. Okay.
Maybe combined with other things.
It's a good thing they don't let me write recipes on walls.
At least, by engraving them into walls.
One fun fact that I read.
What's that?
These donut holes. Donut holes.
So wait, do you mean an actual donut? So no, you mean the little round thing that would have been in the middle of a donut?
Yes, exactly. That's apparently named after the lost city.
Okay, not named after the baked good that it comes from?
No, that's a coincidence.
That's a coincidence. But named after the city instead.
Yeah. Apparently, yeah. So there's a lot of people didn't know about
after the little chunks of cork?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. So how does the future look like of the lost city of Dohn-Ut?
Right. So, like we mentioned, it was found because of them starting to build, or breaking ground on building the foundation for the massive Jason collider.
Yeah.
Okay, that was put on pause for a while.
Yeah.
They were having to decide: are we going to build it somewhere else? Can we build it here? Do we need to build it somewhere else? And so on.
Yeah. Is all the rubble going to be in the way? Exactly.
And what they've decided to do, and okay, this is going to delay it a few more years, but the plan is to basically enlarge the collider, like double its diameter, so that it can go around the entire circumference, like basically completely surround
Yeah.
The city of Dohn-Ut.
It was a compromise, so they could still build it there, but make it bigger,
Yep.
so you could still kind of see bits of the city.
Exactly. And the original plan was to, like, when they didn't know any of this stuff was there, was to build the collider, so the ring, and then pave over the center of it. But now, no, they leave the center alone. That's a reserved territory.
They're not going to reserve it because somehow they think these old structures are worth saving. Apparently, we have enough lost cities all around the world already.
Sure.
But there was a rare more jellyfish.
That's it. That's what pushed it over the edge.
Yeah, and then they said, no, we have to protect jellyfish.
Yep.
It's also round, apparently, a round jellyfish.
I mean, I think a lot of jellyfish are round, but this one especially, what makes it unique is it has that donut hole through the middle.
That's it, yeah. So there's probably some relation.
Probably.
Possible.
Maybe the original builders of that city were inspired by the jellyfish.
Ooh. Or maybe there weren't corks in these holes, but jellyfish. No, they still have holes in them.
I mean, they have smaller holes. So.
Yeah, okay. Maybe there were the corks in the holes of the jellyfish. Maybe that's how the jellyfish...
Ooh, and if they were the kind of jelly... I mean, don't know, back 4,000 years ago, but if they were the kind of jellyfish which glow in the dark, that could have looked really nice.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's... anyway, but that jellyfish is apparently still around in the moor.
Yeah. Right. And so they're protected species, not allowed to pave over it.
Yeah.
They were discovered, so to the point like how... So those were also discovered when they excavated in large underground lakes.
Yeah.
So they weren't up on the surface.
Mm-hmm. You know what the name Jason Collider comes from? It's just a weird name for a particle accelerator.
Yeah, right. I looked it up because I also wondered about it.
Nice research.
Mm-hmm. I figured, Jason's a person's name, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So it was named after an actor who actually our listeners might have heard of. So he was an actor originally called Jason Statham.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently in lots of action films.
Doesn't ring a bell, but...
No, I haven't seen any of his films.
Action films doesn't ring a bell.
Okay. But then when he turned 70, he retired from acting, got a PhD in particle physics, made some breakthroughs, and that's why these massive Jason colliders are named after his work.
Wow. Cool. Some pretty cool history lesson.
Indeed.
And for our listeners, future lesson.
Indeed. For them, I think he still would have been an actor.
Okay, I would say that kind of wraps it up for the lost city of Dohn-Ut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There is, though, so this has already been found in those inscriptions, they found mention of another twin city. Would it be a triplet city? But basically, another city twinned with the lost city of Dohn-Ut.
Nice.
They've got a name.
Yeah.
They don't know where it is. They don't know much more about it, but they've got a name. So, the lost city of Muff-In.
Ooh. It's probably in Mesopotamia.
Probably.
Okay. We have a listener email even.
We do.
Do you want to read it?
Yeah, I can read this. So, Angelica wrote, "Hey guys, I can't believe you already recorded 250 episodes, and that I listened to almost all of them. One question. You mentioned this disease that lets you live forever. Can animals catch that too? Bye-bye." We did not... So that was a recent episode, right?
Yeah.
Where we talked about the recent disease that makes people live forever. We didn't talk about animals at all.
No.
So, to answer your question, Angelica, not so far. So far, at least as far as we know, no animals have caught it. But it's an interesting thought.
It is definitely an interesting thought. And I hadn't thought of it. I can just imagine...
Like some animals, it would be cool to have them live. Forever is a long time. If you're one of the people who lives forever, like who gets the disease, and you have a pet, like a cat or a dog that you really care for, you can have a pet that lives alongside you.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool. And you wouldn't be so lonely after a couple of million years.
Right.
There are already...
there are animals that are long-lived.
Exactly.
Or long-lived, some people say it that way. Like tortoises and, what are those called?
A shark.
Those sharks that live 500 years or
Yes,
something.
a Greenland shark.
That's it.
It's not even the animal that gets the oldest. The oldest is some mussel or coral or something like that.
Sure. But like the Greenland shark, it's more like animal-shaped.
Yeah, more
as far
animal.
as we think of an animal.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, that's long. That lives a long time, but that's not forever.
No. Man, I can just imagine mosquitoes living forever.
Indeed. Because as we mentioned in the episode about the disease, they don't get older. It's not that they live forever, get really old, and wear out. It's that they stay at whatever point in life they catch a thing. They catch the disease. I mean, so that could cause problems for people who get infected by malaria, for example, that's transmitted by mosquitoes.
Yeah, malaria mosquito that lives forever. That's gonna suck. Mm-hmm. Or
so far, at least, it doesn't seem to be transmitted through blood. So the disease. So
they don't even know how.
Right, they haven't found yet how it's transmitted, but it's not.
If it's even transmitted.
That's the point, because we mentioned that it's really unclear, but it's definitely very rare that people catch it.
Yeah.
So not something easily transmitted.
I can just imagine like a rabbit in the prime of its life, and then
making lots of baby rabbits
all the time. Mm-hmm. Wow, forever. Okay, one more rabbit. I guess doesn't really make that much of a difference.
No. So the interesting thing to find out will be if animals did catch it. Did it make them sterile, for example? Or were they able to... And then if they had children, would their children... Is it called children when it's an animal? Anyway, the new rabbits, for example, that are born, do they also have this disease inherently, or do they not have it?
Yeah. I can just imagine a dodo catching a disease and then have the rest of its species being wiped out again.
Right.
And just live forever while your species doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. Okay, so interesting question, Angelica. We don't have the answer. But we have lots of more questions now.
Thank you for prompting those.
Yes. All right.
So, listeners to Test from the Future, please send an email to microlasagna5@gmail.com. Put the episode number 251 in the subject so that we know this episode went back in time successfully. And, of course, feel free to ask us anything you like, similar to how Angelica did.
For now, thanks for listening, and see you in 200 years.
Bye-bye.